Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. We've got a bunch of fun stuff coming up here we're going to talk about for the weekend, and we've got our second scoop on the weekend as well. Right here, take a listen to this. I'm in trouble. Severe obesity can cut lives short by up to 14 years. I should be dead like 2 weeks ago, according to this study. According to a study by the U.S. National Cancer Institute, study found that people who were considered severely obese can die much earlier due to the increased risk of heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and other diseases. The study is based on 20 studies from the United States, Sweden, and Australia over the course of 30 years. So they're saying the heavier you are, the higher chance of you dying.
Yeah, I don't think they needed a study for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that anybody was going, are you kidding me? Seriously? I didn't know that. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people knew that, but now they have the study to prove it. Coming up, some special things. We'll tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's, we've got the whole weekend. So we'll go through Saturday, October 8th first, Alvin C. York Day, Fall Astronomy Day, National Motorcycle Ride Day, National Peerage Day, Universal Music Day, and World Octopus Day for 10/8. And then we've got 10/9, which is Sunday, October the 9th, Clergy Appreciation Day. I appreciate our clergy. Do you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also Leif Erikson Day, National Chess Day, National Pro-Life Cupcake Day. What?
All right.
Is there a pro-choice cupcake day?
I have no idea.
Pro-Life Cupcake Day on Sunday, Nautilus Day, and World Post Day. So there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend. Celebrate accordingly. How are you going to celebrate?
I'm not going to tell you what I was going to say because it's really inappropriate.
All right, I can't wait till we're off the air so you can tell me. I am going to celebrate by having a cupcake. That's how I'm going to do it. And maybe with an octopus, but probably not. I don't know where I'd find one this time of year or any time of year. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Legally, we gotta have insurance. That's why getting the very best rate is paramount. I'm Jared Parsons. I founded the first national and virtual insurance agency. Until now, you were limited to the agents in your area. But what if the rates are better somewhere else? At Parsons, we shop around and we get you the best rate. It's that simple. Go to radioinsuranceguy.com. That's radioinsuranceguy.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Do you daydream during the day? Do you have vivid dreams at night? If so, that might make you a more creative person and a better worker. Heidi, you always have vivid dreams, don't you?
I have very vivid dreams.
Yeah,
I just told you about one the other day on the radio.
Yeah, I think you need to be careful about telling your dreams on the radio from now on. They're vivid, but they're not necessarily good for radio. Just saying. If you've got vivid dreams and you remember every dramatic detail, give yourself a big old pat on the back. A new study reveals that you are more creative and have a better imagination than most people. The research conducted by psychology professor David Watson at the University of Iowa shows that how long or deep your sleep is has nothing to do with the quality of your dreams or your ability to recall them when you wake up. But one striking correlation emerged from the study of 193 students. Those who have frequent daydreams and absent-minded fantasies while awake are far more likely to be top-rated dreamers. It says there's a fundamental continuity.
Yeah.
Hey, I is a speech reader. And there is a fundamental, what was the word again? Continuity?
Sure.
That thing. Between how people experience events during the day and night. People who are prone to daydreams and fantasies have less of a barrier between states of sleep and wakefulness and seem to pass more easily between them. So there you go. Next time you get caught daydreaming, you can say, hey, you are lucky that I'm daydreaming at work because I'm
That makes me an asset, mister.
I'm an asset at this company, and you just need to read the study, and it's got a lot of big words in it. So there. That's what I'd say. Anyway, you know it's true? You know why?
Because you heard it on the radio.
Yeah.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. An Iowa man who police say was intoxicated was unhurt after being driven over by a train.
Whoa.
Yeah. Sean Polly was passed out between the rails on the train tracks. It's not. Let's pause for a second. That is not a good place to pass out,
No,
Sean.
not a good place for now.
There are a lot of places to pass out, but that is not a good one. The train's engineer hit the emergency brake, notified authorities that the northbound train may have hit a pedestrian. Two of the train's engines passed over Polly's body without hitting him. Authorities woke Polly and removed him from the tracks after the first engine was disconnected. Polly was arrested for public intoxication.
Wow.
He apparently is one heck of a sound sleeper. Maybe
Very
that study,
lucky dude is what he is.
that study we talked about earlier, I wonder if he's got vivid dreams. Wow, this dream, I dreamt that I fell asleep on the train tracks, and I woke
No,
up
you really did that.
in the national news. It's crazy. All right, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. What do masked robbers and yoga instructors have in common?
I have no idea.
Well, Ohio police responding to a caller who mistook a judo class training exercise for a hostage situation. Oh, boy. They had people, the police there, they pulled their guns on. Telephone caller saw someone wearing a ski mask enter a class inside the YMCA with a toy gun and ordered everyone down on the floor. The caller told police the gunman fled in a car with the same description and license plate as the one driven by this person here, Patrona Ashman, as she left her job at the YMCA. Anyway, police pulled over a car about a block from the YMCA. Ashman was in the vehicle with her 2-year-old twins, 9-year-old daughter, and 5-year-old son. They were ordered to get out of the vehicle at gunpoint. So now I'm a little bit confused.
The kids.
I don't know if there really was somebody robbing the place or if they just saw somebody leading a class. But either way, I have good news. We have your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. Lady Gaga tells People magazine that her new album was influenced by the men in her life. So Taylor Swift is upset. She said, hey, that's my deal. Can't do that. Therapists say Americans are stressed over the upcoming election to point where they're losing sleep and experiencing irritability and heart palpitations. So would you say that you have lost any sleep yet over this upcoming election?
I haven't really lost sleep over the election, but I sure don't like watching the news. It
No,
does get my
it-
heart beating
Yeah.
weird, and I have to leave the room.
Yeah, it's,
Even the debates are tough to watch because I just get so... Oh,
she
I
gets
get
pretty
so
riled up.
wound up.
Yeah,
Like,
she does. It's like I
So-
gotta calm her down and say, hey, it's gonna be okay.
yeah,
It's gonna be
I just
okay.
can't watch it.
And we're not moving to Canada no matter what happens. It's
I'm
gonna
not
be okay.
moving to Canada.
No,
I'll
no,
stay here and defend my country.
That's the thing. These people are saying, oh, if this guy's elected or if she's elected, I'm moving to Canada. I'm like, pack your bags and go. Because if that's how you feel, then you don't love this country anyway. Our country has made it through some fabulous presidencies and some not so fabulous presidencies. And it's not that person with their tush sitting in the seat at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue that makes this country great. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not. It's all these other things.
Right.
And
It's
if that's all it is to you,
corruption all the way around.
but I'm
is
saying
what
if that's all it is that one person in that one position and that's what is going to make or break our country, you better go back and read. There's a lot more to it than that. Now, I understand, I'd like to have the person that I like win as well, but I'm not going to say if the person that I don't like wins, I'm going to leave. No. And those who do that, there's a whole big long list of people now that are saying if this person wins, I'm
They
moving.
better go.
Here's the thing. If that person
Make them
wins,
go.
I think that it should be mandated that those people
That's
leave.
right, because you don't love this country, so get out.
Get out of here. Because
Agreed.
Alec Baldwin did that back in 2000.
And
he
he's
said,
still here.
if George Bush wins, I'm leaving this country. And he won, and he stayed. I'm like,
Yeah.
why is
Wait a
anyone
minute.
listening to
Aren't
this
you
man?
supposed to be gone?
We kind of got off track on the scoop of the day today. Hey, the Mall of America is taking a bold step. They will remain closed on Thanksgiving Day. So
I saw that. That's nice.
kind of a cool thing because it's like every store is choosing to open earlier and earlier, and some just might as well stay open the whole time because Black Friday
Could
is
you
now.
imagine that place on Black Friday?
Oh,
my
I wouldn't even
gosh.
want to go there. I mean, I don't like going there anyway, but I can't even imagine. Scientists are increasingly warning that sitting for prolonged periods, even if you also exercise regularly, could be bad for your health. It doesn't matter where the sitting takes place, at the office, at a school, in a car, in front of a computer or TV. Just the overall number of hours of sitting. Again, second study that says I should probably be dead by now. So, because I sit a lot.
Yeah,
I'm
I sit way too much.
I'm sitting right now, as a matter of fact. And our final story for our scoop of the day. Do you want to reduce the effects of global warming, Heidi? You should stop. I can see that this is really near and dear to you. You should stop working so hard. It says working fewer hours might help slow global warming, according to a study released by the Center for Economic Policy and
it
Research.
will increase unemployment numbers even higher than they already are because your boss isn't going to tolerate that.
Well, let's read the rest of this study. A worldwide switch to a more European work schedule, which includes working fewer hours and having more vacation time, could prevent as much as half of the expected global temperatures rise by 2100. According to the analysis, which used recent studies, found that shorter work hours could be associated with lower carbon emissions. Let's just stop right there for a second, because here's the thing. If I get more vacation time, I'm going to just sit at home and stare at the wall.
And
No,
not
I'm
turn
not.
on the television.
No,
and not
if you have
drive
more
anywhere,
vacation
and
time,
not-
you're going to jump in a big, fuel-guzzling airplane and fly somewhere and go on
Right.
vacation. So I don't know what they were smoking when they were doing this study, but I think it's so far off base, it's laughable. I'm not saying that we couldn't all relax a little bit more. But
No, I would
really?
love more downtime. There's no question.
I would love to see the factors that went into that study. Coming up, we've got your second scoop. We do that every weekend right here on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Election day is almost here. No matter which side you're rooting for, you now have a place to get informed and to truly voice your opinion at PoliticalStorm.com. An amazing resource with information from people on both sides of the aisle, all in one place. Watch videos, read blogs, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials. You can also contribute with your own blog for free. Be a part of the community at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice too at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening. We've got your second scoop right now. When asked, who would you want to play you in a movie about your life, who do you think most people choose?
Well, is it a woman or a man?
Both. So if you're a
I
man,
think women would say Sandra Bullock.
and men would say,
Men would say Steve Buscemi.
what? No. Who can you think of, as far as a man, who plays like everybody in every movie?
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks. He was just Sully. He was Captain.
Yeah.
What was it? Captain. What was it? Captain Phillips. He was Walt Disney. He's played a lot of people.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks has been in a lot of movies. Well, when asked who would you like to play you in a movie about your life, most Americans selected Tom Hanks if they were male, and Julia Roberts if they were female.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Other top choices include.
She can't even play herself.
She
There's
can't
no
do- would
way
you
I
stop?
would put her in my role.
Meow.
I've never liked her in
Why?
anything.
What is the problem? I think she's fantastic.
I don't know.
Catty much?
No, I'm not catty.
Oh, yeah. You don't sound catty at all.
There are a lot of female actors I do. I like Sandra Bullock.
Well,
a
let's
lot.
see if she made the list. How's
I
that
bet
sound?
she did.
How about you just cool your jets over there? Why don't you take 5? This weekend edition has gone off the rails like 4 times. Where were we again? Oh, yeah. Most Americans selected Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts as their choices for the lead role in the movie of their life. Other top choices include Denzel Washington. I like him.
Yeah.
I could see that. Clint Eastwood. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis. How
Yeah.
about the ladies? Meg Ryan.
I loved when I was a
Oh,
kid.
yeah.
I would have always said Meg Ryan, but she's kind of we've kind of got a age gap now that can't
Why?
quite be.
Is she getting old?
Yeah,
I haven't seen her in anything lately. Is she not in stuff? Is there a reason? You following her on Facebook?
yeah, I do.
She
I
just
love
keeps posting
I love
photos
Meg,
of
but
cats.
she's done all sorts of weird stuff to her lips.
What?
and-
I have to go online
It's
now.
sad.
So, ladies, again, number 1 was Julia Roberts, then Meg Ryan, then Halle Berry. She's adorable. There's a movie that she's in. We just saw a preview for it. It looks really good. I'd love to see that. And then Sandra Bullock. Hey, you were right.
I know.
And Meryl Streep. I could see that too.
Meryl Streep.
What? In my case, it would probably be Kevin James.
Yeah, I can see Kevin
We kind of
James
have a
playing
striking
you.
resemblance. I was Paul Blart Mall Cop for Halloween one year. It was pretty convincing. Who would be
Just
yours?
wonder how Meryl Streep ended up on there.
What do you mean? What's wrong with Meryl Streep?
She's very plain.
Okay, Heidi. Once again, 2 points for cattiness.
I mean, unless she's playing the life of a homeless woman living on the street.
Stop it. Her name is Heidi, by the way, for those emails. Heidi, Heidi. Would you just... Who would play you in the story of your life?
Sandra Bullock.
Really?
Or Phoebe Cates.
I can see Phoebe
I
Cates.
love Phoebe Cates.
Who was the girl that was in Gremlins? What was her name?
Phoebe Cates.
Oh, is that Phoebe Cates? That's not who I was thinking of.
And she still looks absolutely amazing.
Winona Ryder,
by the way.
Winona Ryder could play you as well.
No, I don't think.
I think she could pull off a Heidi Small. She could do it if she tried hard.
I think Phoebe could.
If she was catty enough. Hey, moving back to this second scoop here. A recent study says Chicago has one of the most unpredictable commutes in the country. We went to Chicago. We weren't commuting, but we were driving there to go to a Bears game a couple years ago. Here's one of the most unpredictable things for me, being,
The tolls.
Yeah, it was like every 15 feet.
Oh my gosh, it was
and
insane.
it wasn't a quarter. It was $3.60. Remember that?
Yeah.
I'm like, who cares?
Exactly $3.60 for every 15 feet of their commute.
Like, that's
insane.
a fistful of quarters and a dime. Like, that is nuts. Why not make it at least an odd number, like, or an even number, like $3?
Right. I
$3.60. I'm like,
ridiculous.
whatever. And finally, in this prolonged, I cannot believe we've talked this long, second scoop, a recent study finds that liquids make up 22% of calories in the average American's diet. Is that good or is that bad? The problem is most Americans only count calories if they get it from solid foods, which means we're not even aware of how many liquids get snuck into our diet. Look what I'm drinking for liquids.
Water.
A gigantic jug of
That's a
water.
big jug of water.
Well, you know why? Because if I have a little jug of water, that's how much I'm going to drink. And I thought, I'm going to bring a big jug of water. Speaking of which, we should take a break now because I got to run to the restroom. Thanks for listening to the second scoop on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you ready for Duel? Kyle Dowling on guitar, Brett Gunderson on bass, Sam DeVito on drums, and frontman Duel Shane.
Gotta keep rocking, gotta keep sucking, bringing it down like rain.
Duel's new single just hit iTunes and it's selling fast. Get your copy now.
When you're lacking chains and you feel no pain, Supernova gonna get you too.
Their first single, Supernova, is available now for less than $1. Learn more and find a direct link to buy Supernova at facebook.com/duelrocks.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
When falling, cats always land on their feet. Is that true or is that false?
That's false.
It is false. For some reason, though, people think that. But some cats actually fall on their sides or on their back or wherever. So if you don't believe me, take it up with Cat Fancy Magazine, October 97 issue. They had the story. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Cat Fancy Magazine. It's a thing, really. Since 1983, the Catholic Church has reduced the number of miracles required for you to become a saint by 50%. So you only need to do half as many miracles now to become a saint. You know, the modern day saints have it so much easier. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Women have a better sense of smell than men. So there you go. That's good to know. And our final, and I don't know that any man out there would disagree with that because they're like, men probably smell more than women, though. I don't know about that. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Each year, American hens lay enough eggs to circle the globe 100 times.
That's awesome.
That's a lot of eggs, man. I'm kind of hungry for eggs now. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
Legally, we gotta have insurance. That's why getting the very best rate is paramount. I'm Jared Parsons. I founded the first national and virtual insurance agency. Until now, you were limited to the agents in your area. But what if the rates are better somewhere else? At Parsons, we shop around and we get you the best rate. It's that simple. Go to radioinsuranceguy.com. That's radioinsuranceguy.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. No more silly names, Heidi. None. Officials in Venezuela have had it with the goofy names. They're making it, or at least trying to make it illegal for mamas and papas to name their kids things like Superman and Big Bird in Venezuela.
I don't know why you would do that to your child anyway,
I don't either.
unless you don't like your kid.
But, it happens more than you'd think. Officials warn that attempts to use inappropriate names might be turned down by the civil registry if they, quote, expose children to ridicule, are extravagant, or difficult to pronounce, end quote. This new bill also proposes to create a list of traditional names that could be offered to parents, quote, as a reference, to provide options when they are registering their child's birth. It says the list would have no fewer than 100 names and would grow over time. So I wonder what names they have on the list that are, appropriate names in Venezuela. What is a good
I don't know,
Venezuelan
but Big
name?
Bird, that's a common sense. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't name your kid Big Bird.
No,
that's
you don't.
awful.
Everybody knows. You name them Grover instead.
Kermit.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a nephew named Oscar, but not Oscar the Grouch, just Oscar. So, that's a name that's probably a traditional name that because of Sesame Street hasn't gotten used as much. Because, once there's a character, Oscar the Grouch, you probably don't name your kid that
And
as
if you
much.
want to name your kid after Superman, just call him Clark.
Yeah, there you go. Or Kent. Or Clark Kent.
Right. I mean, you could do that. That would be fine. But don't.
And then
Superman?
his nickname could be Superman. I also have a nephew named Lincoln. And I remember when he was born, I remember thinking, that's kind of cool. I've never met, at that time, another Lincoln. Since then, I've met several. So there are a lot of presidential names that kids get these days.
I love the name Reagan.
Yeah,
Reagan.
Reagan.
I've met several Reagans.
And every Reagan I've met has been a girl up until recently. I met a young boy named Reagan. I was like, oh, well,
an
yeah,
awesome
that could be
name.
a good name for a boy, too. So there you go.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner or the person in charge of advertising, I have a special offer just for you. We're doing a jingle special this month. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? How would you like to be the name in your industry and have people singing your song? We've worked with hundreds of small businesses to create their own musical image, and we want to help you too. Reach out right now and we'll give you $500 off. Squeeze it into this year's budget and get results for years to come. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
A University of Virginia study on couples found that holding hands may ward off stress hormones. Give me your hand. Let me see. Do you feel less stressful? Oh, hey,
No.
come on now. That rock is digging into my hand over here. According to, it's not much of a rock. That's more like a pebble. That pebble is digging into my hand over here. According to Tiffany Field, PhD of the Touch Research Institute, your hands are very soft.
Why, thank you.
That's nice. I've never noticed that before. According to this Tiffany lady, she says there are 2 mainly touchy-feely techniques. A comforting grasp, which his hand is wrapped over her hand, or a romantic clasp where your fingers are interlaced. Which of those 2 do you like best? Do you like?
Depends on the situation.
Doesn't even depend for me. I like what I'm doing right now. That's the first one, the comforting grasp, where my hand is wrapped over yours. I like that. The whole romantic clasp, let's try that for a second. That is so uncomfortable. I've got my fingers connected with your fingers. Is that comfortable for you?
I like that.
Are you serious? It's like every one of our fingers are hugging each other right now. It's just uncomfortable, though. Now my hand is stuck to your hand. There we go.
This is weird.
It
We're
is
working.
weird. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Concerned that meat is getting a bad rap, a group of high school students have decided to form a pro-meat club at their high school. Listen to this. They have over 70 students now in their high school that are part of the Carnivorous Club because they think meat is getting a bad rap in the vegetarian age. The club organizes barbecues, and they're going to plan a beef stand giving students facts about meat. Club co-founder Dave Sapper says, "We looked around and saw the vegetarians, and they always have booths set up giving out veggies and recipes and info. We thought, why not have one for beef?" Vegetarian Club member Rachel Jackson is not too worried about the competition. She says, "As long as there is a vegetarian club, I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't think any of our members are going to be swayed into joining their group." Hey, Rachel, just wait. Just wait for Bacon Day.
I would put a fan on my beef table and blow it right over to the vegetarian table so they can smell what they're missing.
I have friends that
What
are
are they going to do?
vegetarians.
Do the same thing and blow the smell of kale back at us?
Do you smell that? Asparagus?
That kale might go good on my burger.
I think you guys need to get together. Together, you got one heck of a meal. All right, I've got friends that are vegetarians. Nothing against vegetarians. I like meat way too much. Sorry. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Election day is almost here. No matter which side you're rooting for, you now have a place to get informed and to truly voice your opinion at PoliticalStorm.com. An amazing resource with information from people on both sides of the aisle, all in one place. Watch videos, read blogs, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials. You can also contribute with your own blog for free. Be a part of the community at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice, too, at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com. A 68-year-old woman who has been collecting soft toys and model frogs for more than 20 years is giving them away in order to keep her husband. 70-year-old Eric Mentor finally lost patience with his wife's obsession. It was cluttering their apartment, and he gave her a choice. The frogs go or I go. Norma agrees that her collecting of over 600 frogs so far has become too large, and she decided to save her 47-year marriage by getting rid of her frogs.
That was nice of her.
Yeah. So
that was big of her.
Would you do that?
I would have never let your frog collection get to that point.
I don't have 600
I would
frogs.
throw them away.
How many frogs do I have? I'm only got like 430. So I'm just kidding. I don't want people walking away from this program thinking, John collects frogs? No, I don't. Nothing against that. If you're a frog collector, I'm not knocking it. It's just not something that I'm, really into. We don't really collect anything these days. I have radios, old radios. I've got a collection of those, and some microphones.
Yeah.
And garbage in my garage. Books.
I collect corks.
Yeah, you do.
I do. I collect corks.
Not so much. You drink the wine and you keep the cork.
Keep the corks.
Yeah, I don't know if you collect
because I have plans
a project
for a project.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's going to build a whole house out of corks. And right now we could probably get a 3-bedroom. She's working on, hey, maybe if I keep drinking wine, we can get up to a 5-bedroom. With a guest suite. So there you go. Anyway, 68-year-old woman with 600 frogs, got rid of them to keep her 47-year marriage alive.
That was nice.
I think it's really good. That could have been our good news story for today, really. So with that, we've got some really good news coming up. I sure hope. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is good news, Heidi. Take a listen to this. Drinking coffee, even decaffeinated coffee, may protect your liver. A large new study has found researchers that examined this coffee drinking habit of 27,793 people who filled out diet questionnaires in a large national health study over a, 11-year period, it looks like. Scientists tracked blood levels of 4 different enzymes that indicate liver function. The study is online in Hepatology, whatever that is. I think that's an online magazine for studies. More than 14,000 of the subjects drank coffee. After controlling for age and sex and race and education and smoking and alcohol consumption and other factors, researchers found that compared with people who did not drink coffee, those who did drink coffee 3 cups a day were 25% less likely to have abnormal liver levels. So their enzyme levels were normal. According to, it says, among the more than 2,000 who drank only decaffeinated coffee, the results were similar. So what they're saying is, at least for today, coffee is good for you again. Isn't it crazy? Like every other day we have...
They don't know what it... Just if you like it, drink it. If you don't like it, don't
Well, here's
drink
what
it.
they're saying.
That's kind of where we're at.
Coffee is good for your liver, according to this study. It's probably not good for other things, according to other studies. If you'd like to read this study, I've got some details on this at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Hey, is it too early to start planning for Christmas?
It's never too early to start planning for Christmas.
There are people out there, Focus on the Families, Thriving Family Magazine says it's not too early when it means that you're talking to your kids about what Christmas really means. Says they already released their free yearly Advent activity calendar and complete character counts, cutouts, and I've got a link to all of that on our Facebook page as well. So if you'd like to check that out. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.